have to admit, this morning I had like full-blown tear-filled meltdown dealing with a really challenging situation in my business. And I already had the script written to talk about how to build an entrepreneurial support system, and it was so perfect because I need it today. Sometimes entrepreneurship is hard. It feels like we're running up against a brick wall. So in this video, I'm going to share 3 ways that you can bolster or create your entrepreneurial support system so that you can weather the ups and downs and the roller coaster that is this life. Because it is a trip. I don't know if you have been in this space or on this journey for any length of time, you know that entrepreneurship is like the highest of highs and the lowest of lows. And people who aren't in this world, aren't on the same journey or on the same path, they just don't experience it like we do. You don't really know how extreme it can be until you're in it. As entrepreneurs, we all need a bit of encouragement and direction and support from time to time. That is completely normal. It is also completely normal to feel overwhelmed, burnt out, like you just can't take another day. But the good news is it doesn't have to stay that way. Welcome. If you are new here, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. And welcome back if you're not new. My name is Kay Putnam. I'm the psychology-driven brand strategist. I have been in entrepreneurship for over 10 years. So I have seen more than my fair share of highs and lows. And I want to share 3 ways that I have found to be the most effective at creating a support structure, a support system around me and my business. And I hope that you can take and use some of these tips. First tip, and I feel like people maybe like snub their nose at this or they overlook it because they feel like they shouldn't have to do this, but the easiest way to get support as an entrepreneur is to pay for it. This is especially useful if you are looking for a particular expertise, or if you're looking for mentorship, for coaching, or if you just want to be a part of a community that you aren't finding otherwise. There are tons of paid networks and communities and courses, group programs, coaches, mentorship, etc. One of my favorite investments that I've made in my business was one of the biggest investments. It was a certification program. And I was paying for the expertise. So I was learning how to improve coaching skills, how to speak to the subconscious through different modalities. The humans that were in that group have become such dear friends, and I love to support them however that I can. And I feel like I really know them because we went through that experience together. I would be remiss if I didn't mention my Brand Clarity Collective. It is my group mentorship and mastermind program. So you get access to all of my courses, which is fantastic. You can learn how to build a brand step by step, how to build your own quiz, how to tap into your archetypes, etc. But on the other hand, you get access to a community of like-minded, ambitious, driven, smart humans and mentorship from me. By showing up or by signing up for something like that, you can raise your hand and be like, I am struggling with X, Y, and Z. What would you do? Have you been in this situation before? How have you navigated deciding this? We all go through similar things, and it might sound slightly different in each person's circumstance, but there is such a wealth of knowledge to tap into when you join a group of fellow entrepreneurs. So the key here is to ask yourself, what kind of support are you looking for? Are you looking for emotional support? Are you looking for expertise or a skill set in a very specific area that you don't have yet? And then once you know what you're looking for, you can start to pay attention to what is out there. You can consume free content online, see who you resonate with, see whose businesses look like one that you would want to build. And by buying into their programs, particularly ones that have a live environment where you can ask questions and engage in real time, you can get such incredible support that you're not going to find otherwise. The other reason I love paying for support is that it puts both the ownership and the agency in your corner. So you don't have to wait to be asked to go to some secret dinner with a group of entrepreneurs. You don't even have to organize something yourself. You can literally just find something that resonates with you and then decide to invest in and show up in that space and receive support in that way. Another really great tool I love for this is an app. It's called Sphere Coaching. They have a plethora of different coaches that are available in different expertises, from like life coaches to executive to health and wellness coaches. And you can pay for a subscription through that app. It's relatively inexpensive, and you can schedule regular sessions with the coach of your choice. So that is a really great resource that you can tap into. Team kind of falls into the same bucket too. You can pay for support. You can pay for people to help you. And yes, I know this is an investment. I know that it's not accessible for everybody, but even if not, finding some of these free groups or free spaces where you can engage with other entrepreneurs can be a really great way to do this. Second step is to look outside of your business to your wider life. Often we get stressed out with things that have nothing to do with our business. And then we get frustrated that our business isn't performing the way that we want it to, but we're not actually spending all of our energy and time here. We're spending a lot of it in other places. So take an audit of those other places. Where can you get help in your home? How can you get help with maybe like childcare, pet care, with making time for rest and relaxation, either by yourself or with your partner or with friends? How can you create clear boundaries between working and then resting? This is one of my biggest keys. I've mentioned it a few times, but I have a pretty strict no working on weekends rule, because if I don't set that in place, I feel guilty all weekend long that I'm not working. And that doesn't serve anybody, because there's no sense in feeling guilty when you're not working if you're choosing not to work. So boundaries can help create that mental distinction between rest and work. Maybe there's things like childcare swaps that you could do with a neighbor or with your parents or with other family that you have nearby. There's a lot of options that we can tap into when we start to look at our entire energy expenditure, not just the business. On a personal note, I learned this lesson hard when we lived in Italy, because I could only speak Italian about as well as like a 3 or a 4-year-old. And there were many things that I just simply could not do by myself. I had to flex that asking for support muscle so many times because I couldn't communicate clearly with my son's teachers. If I had car trouble, I couldn't communicate well enough to communicate with the mechanics. Like, there was so many times when I needed support. And I'm so grateful that I learned that lesson, because I brought it back with me now that we're back in the land of convenience here in the United States. I ask for support as often as I can. It is my favorite thing to spend money on. And I will continue to do this, because I can't survive being an entrepreneur and a mom and a partner and a friend and all of these things if I don't have help. Don't use the I can't afford it as the reason why you don't look for support. Get creative, figure out how you can get help. And then our third way of building your entrepreneurial support system is to look inside. Think about yourself as your own support system. I know that if I don't sleep well, if I haven't fueled my body with good, nutritious food, if I haven't moved my body, if I've just been like stuck staring at a screen for the last 48 hours, I am not a fully functioning human. I don't make good decisions. I don't do my best work. I am not fully resourced in that state. It is freaking magical to just go outside and walk around your neighborhood, like breathing the fresh air, moving your feet, letting your mind wander, and just marinating in the goodness that is the outside. Things as simple as that can make a really big difference in those really low moments that we might experience as an entrepreneur. Make sure that you're taking time to do something like that, to move your body, to clear your mind. Perhaps you can journal, meditate, do hypnosis, EFT, otherwise known as tapping. All of these are really great ways to become more of a fully resourced person inside of you and not expecting always to have to go outside of yourself to receive that support. We can support ourselves when we've taken the time to take care of this vessel and make sure that we are capable of doing the things that we're asking our minds and our bodies to do. I'd love to know in the comments. Let's continue this conversation. What is your go-to method for receiving support as an entrepreneur? Most people don't understand this like wild roller coaster ride that entrepreneurship can be. And we all need each other in more ways than one. So share your best ideas in the comments below. I would love to hear them. And if you have also had a really challenging day or have had one of those in your past, and I'm guessing that you have, if your entrepreneurial journey has been anything like mine, I hope that it gets easier. I hope that you find the support that you need, and I hope that you reach out and receive that help. Just like people say it takes a village to raise a child, I think it takes a city to raise a business. We do not have to do everything on our own. Find ways to receive support for your entrepreneurial journey.